You've heard the claim, the Great Pyramids of Giza are aligned with Orion's belt. But new evidence reveals the truth is both stranger and far more precise. These monuments were built not merely for kings, but for the cosmos itself. Here are 3 shocking truths supported by the latest satellite data, soil analysis, and astronomical modeling that uncover how Egypt's pyramids became a living map between Earth and the stars. Truth 1. The Orion Blueprint. In 1989, engineer Robert Bauval noticed something almost unbelievable. The 3 Giza pyramids matched the 3 bright stars of Orion's belt: Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka. Even the smallest pyramid sits slightly east, just like Orion's faintest star. Bauval called it a master plan, a mirror of heaven laid into the desert floor. When measured, the scale is astonishing. The spacing between Khufu and Menkaure mirrors Orion's belt at roughly 1 to 43,000. Their angular deviation from a perfect line is approximately 0.5 degrees, exactly what an observer in 2500 BCE would see in the night sky. As Bauval wrote in Discussions in Egyptology 13, 1989, the southern shaft inclined 44 degrees 30 minutes would have pointed to Zeta Orionis. Decades later, physicists Vincenzo Orofino and Paolo Bernardini tested this using Monte Carlo simulations. Their long just concluded greater than, the coincidence does not seem fortuitous. Brightness correlated with pyramid height, and their spatial ratio survived thousands of random trials. Statistically, it wasn't luck, it was intention. If Orion represented Osiris, the resurrected god, then each pyramid was a step in the king's ascent, a geometric launch pad to eternity. Truth 2. The Lost River of the Pyramids. In 2024, Dr. Iman Ghonamin and colleagues at UNC Wilmington published a peer-reviewed breakthrough in Communications Earth and Environment 5233, 2024. Using Sentinel-1 radar SAR imagery, ground-penetrating radar, and 20-meter deep soil cores, they mapped an extinct Nile tributary now buried beneath farmland. They named it the Ahramat Branch, the River of Pyramids. Key measurements: length approximately 64 kilometers, width 200 to 700 meters, depth 2 to 8 meters. 31 pyramids stand within its corridor. Every major causeway from Lisht to Giza runs perpendicular to this branch and ends at a valley temple, ancient harbors for ritual and construction. Dr. Ghonaim wrote, "The Ahramat Branch played a role in the monument's construction and was a transportation waterway for workmen and materials. For the first time, hydrology explains what legend only hinted, how 2.3 million limestone blocks, some weighing 15 tons, reached the plateau. They floated there. The Nile was the Milky Way below, the sky was the Milky Way above, and the pyramids were the bridges in between." Truth 3. Star shafts and the physics of alignment. Inside Khufu's pyramid, 4 narrow shafts, once called ventilation, point with near laser precision to specific stars. Surveyed by Badawi and Trimble, 1964, South King's Chamber, Alnitak in Orion's belt, 44 degrees 30 minutes. North King's Chamber, Thuban in Draco, ancient pole star. South Queen's Chamber, Sirius, associated with Isis. North Queen's Chamber, Kochab in Ursa Minor. In Nature 408, 2000, Dr. Kate Spence demonstrated how builders used Kochab and Mizar to find true north with an error margin under 3.4 arc minutes, about 1 millimeter per meter of length. That's modern survey precision achieved 4,500 years ago by watching stars cross the meridian. Precession. Earth's 26,000-year axial wobble means those stars shift over time. At the exact epoch of 2500 BCE, Alnitak rose at 44 degrees, the same angle as Khufu's southern shaft. Celestial mechanics and architecture were one equation. Recent research by Robert Edward Grant, 2025 Global Resonance Symposium, suggests that carvings inside the king's chamber encode the axis between Orion and Deneb in Cygnus, a memory of a sky from 12,800 years ago. If true, the pyramid is not just a monument to a king, but to time itself. Why Orion mattered. To the ancient Egyptians, Orion was Osiris, the god of resurrection. Each year, when Orion vanished for 70 days, the Nile receded and the sun baked the fields bare. When Orion returned just before dawn, the flood came, life restored. Aligning their monuments to these stars was aligning their civilization with renewal itself. Mainstream Egyptologists accept this symbolism, but remain skeptical of an engineering blueprint. They see spiritual significance, not surveying maps. Yet the new hydrological and astronomical data have tightened that gap to less than a degree of doubt. And, ironically, we still use the same principle today. Spacecraft orient themselves by stellar triangulation, just as the pyramid builders once did with the naked eye. Try this. Step outside on a clear night. Find Orion's belt rising in the east. Now draw that line down in your mind, to the horizon, to the river you can't see. That's the geometry Giza was built to teach you. Alignment isn't belief, it's relationship. Synthesis, where science meets the sacred. The evidence now forms a triad: astronomical correlation, hydrological logistics, and architectural precision. Together, they suggest a civilization tuning its world like an instrument, a resonance between stone, river, and sky. Skeptics remain vital. They keep us honest. But as new data emerge, from radar satellites to statistical models, what was once myth now reads like measurement. The pyramids were not static symbols. They were living frequencies, stone antennas of conscious geometry. Reflection. When you look at Orion rising above Giza, you see what the ancients saw, a pattern so precise it still guides our satellites and our souls. The message endures across millennia. Alignment is participation with the cosmos. Thanks for tuning in to The Conscious Vibe. If this resonated, like, share, or send it to someone you know. And don't forget to subscribe for deeper drops, sharper insights, and future-shaping ideas. Hit subscribe. Stay curious. We're all flying through space together.